Robert Frost said nothing gold can last. But did he customize his Gibson guitar with all gold hardware? Hey, howdy, hello. We've talked to the guitar store that's doing the upgrades, the repairs, and all the stuff. I can't wait to show you what he said. Taught me a lot and answered so many of the questions we've been asking the past several weeks for this stuff. He just opened up and started talking a little bit about the process of upgrading this guitar, making it great. It's gonna take 2 to 3 weeks, apparently. That's kind of why we're doing this video and updating along the process. So first of all, he's gonna talk through all the repairs that we did. It arrived with the snapped headstock. He told me why it took so long. He talked through the process. It's really cool. The clarity and the sigh of relief that I felt after he explained this to me is awesome.
We're getting it all perfectly clean and everything correct. And tight bond is what I use, ultimate. And that's the best wood glue on earth. And then you just get it completely saturated, you pull it down, and then it's just a matter of clamping it and checking with gauges, make sure that the headstock is the exact right angle. And then clamp it up, let it sit 48 hours, pull the clamps off, start cleaning it up. Yours came together very well after the sanding.
Snap. It wasn't like a crazy.
Got all the sanding done, got it. Everything started to come out real nice. I reshaped the edges because they come out like that off the neck. Get everything clean. And then when it was done, I mean, it was smooth as a bell, but you could tell, and the wood was...
Poet and didn't know it.
You know, raw, and there was no paint or anything on it. And he said, I don't even think he's thinking to worry about that. He just wants the headstock fixed. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's all I want. I just wanted the headstock repaired. Obviously, Reverb paid for the repair. If you check out the video as it arrived, he went the extra mile.
I'm doing it anyway. So I just went ahead and did it,
awesome.
and it really did turn out really good. I mean, the whole back side of that thing looked antique to begin with, and the whole thing just flowed together. So
That's why I thought it'd be really hard to match up the whites, is because the white, you know, on Alpine Whites, the nitro finish fades and turns weird. It's not quite that white chocolate anymore. It might be more of a buttercream frosting color.
But I still want to get it a little more cleaned up. You don't want to be looking at your own fingerprints.
So he's gonna clean it up some more. So that's awesome. We're really happy with what he's doing, man. Great stuff. So I asked him about the case. He knew about this case, this piece of crap. I showed you the broken latch in the last video where I compared it to my original guitar. He kind of confirmed my suspicions on that one, and he had some thoughts on the case.
Yeah,
But-
do you think the case too, because the case it shipped in, I'm just trying to get rid of it now, the old case. I got this nicer case.
Oh,
I think that's so much better.
Way better.
That gold case.
I don't know what that old, do you think it's a Les Paul case?
Maybe
From the
not.
70s? When I Googled it, it said 70s era.
Yeah,
Les Paul
I think
case,
something
but-
somebody just threw
Yeah.
threw on it. Because I know that the studios, they don't come with hard shell cases.
Yeah.
So, and maybe somebody bought that and no case came with it. You never know.
Yeah.
But the case, that gold case you guys really nice.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, I like it. I like that it matches.
We got the white gold quad Cortex. We got the white gold Gibson Les Paul and a gold case to go with it. Yeah, it truly is awesome. This new bridge, he had some thoughts on it. I love it. I love how much he dove in and really clarified.
Everything turned out really well. He's got one of those new bridges that you take out the ferrules and then you tap it and they actually screw into the wood and they're supposed to make the tone a lot better. It's funny, he just brought his in this week because he wanted to put one in his.
Okay.
And then the guy showed up yesterday with a Firebird who's doing exactly the same thing with the
So
exact
like
same
an
bridge.
Instagram video trending.
It's trending.
There
Yeah.
must be. I saw a
YouTuber.
dude, yeah, it was a YouTuber
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
who does it. He did it himself, but I was like, I don't know, hammering it seems a little scary. Maybe I'll just do it right.
Well, what
Might
you
have
should
to
do is use a tap so that you got the threads into the wood, and then once they're locked and it's set down, then you don't have to worry anymore.
Yeah.
So, but the holes and the way, a lot of these aftermarket companies, they know that they're replacing the bridge for a Gibson. So they make it as easy to do and reuse it within reason, so that people don't screw their guitars up trying to put them in.
Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. That's awesome.
That's what you're trying not to do.
I'm trying to get it done by a professional, not like I'm Mr. Guitar Tech. Give me a hammer.
Give me a hammer. Yeah, I'm not Mr. Guitar Tech. I saw Steve Sterlacci try to do it, and I'm like, yeah, he can have fun with that. I'm not trying to mess up a Gibson, especially when I'm customizing and putting all the different new parts in. So happy that they're doing it. 2 to 3 weeks is a good wait time. It'll be awesome. And we'll put the pickups in. So I think the next thing that we talked about is the pickups. And I was asking about the master volume knob, why it was doing that little clicky clack thing. And he explained how to clean it up. I didn't know any of this. So this is great info. So hopefully this teaches y'all something if you didn't know what on earth is going on with my guitar. Why does it sound like that?
And also the pickup, I was worried about that because I plugged it in, the master knob pot was being weird. So I didn't know if it was the pot or what to do with that, because I am going to swap the pickups.
Right. Well, pickups in there are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think about putting in?
I have a copy. I ordered, I had to pay a tariff from import from UK.
You gonna get a refund or what?
I hope.
Hear about that?
That's like $3 or whatever. But it's the bare knuckle
our price.
silos, because I love the way it plays them.
I don't know how they're.
So I got bare knuckle aftermaths in one of my
Okay.
guitars. I
read
love those pickups. I love them. Yeah, bare knuckles make some killer stuff.
My uncle loved it.
And that can, that guitar, that'll probably sound really good. The nice thing is, if you put them in, you change your mind. It's not like some huge deal. You know what I mean?
Anymore.
Yeah, pickups really.
Kickback thing.
Fender, I mean, Gibson does a really good job with the round holes and everything. The ones that are in it are just, it's a single wire with the coating. The ground is wrapped a sleeve that the hot wire comes out of. So it's 2 soldering joints on each pickup. It's not some crazy massive.
Back down to 900, and everyone, all the dealers.
Sorry about the background noise, but we're trying to talk. He's explaining about the pots. And my main question too was, do I need to get different pots to make these guys shine? Because the Gibson, it's just unclear about what to do. So I wanted to hear his professional thoughts.
And I can use the same pots. I guess that's what I
Everything's
did.
the same, yeah.
I can just keep that, swap the big ball.
There's different, something you can look up. There are different values of pots do different things.
Right, the K value, I saw that.
Right. So, 500, in a Gibson, 300 to 500K, single coil pickups, you go to 500K on
Ecuador,
there you go.
all these news.
Like a Fender with the 250
stuff, or like
you get
something like
single coils have a wider range.
flat sheets from New York.
And so these 250K pots, because 250K pots work without range better than a 500K would. 500K would squeeze it a little.
Yeah.
And people who do that, and a lot of people who will do stuff like go overboard with a big 500K pot on a single coil, as an example, they'll put a treble bleed on it so it doesn't get too out of control. But there's...
That's really cool. And Rabia, obviously, who put, his name on these signature pickups, has it coil split and does all that stuff to make sure it has lots of dynamics. I'm really hoping this has that, because I think there was a little bit of something to be desired in my playing where I can really dig in on those Gibson pickups. So hopefully this has a good balance of that when we get there.
So the pots are on it, the guy on Reverb said 300K volume and 500K tone.
So I'm explaining to him that the guy on Reverb said he had 300K volume and 500K tone, asking just to make sure if that's what I needed.
So those should be...
And yours is probably already done like that.
And it was before they changed to the PCB pots, I guess. So like 06 had the old-fashioned,
Right.
So they're good.
Yep.
As long as the volume knob.
Now you want
The volume number, that kind of scratches. So what happens inside of a pod? Inside of a pod, there's a problem. There's a disc. And then you have the pod itself is almost like a brush going around the disc when you turn it up. And the brush ramps. So it's just at one.
So he's explaining, you'll hear the pod itself almost like a brush. As it's going around, it's making more and more contact. So it's pushing that contact as it's getting louder, and you'll hear the dust and the scratchiness, almost like a brush, and static. It's analog, so there's no PCB, that sort of stuff. This is dust, and so he's explaining how to clean it.
It's just touching it, you get volume, and as you go around, it is making more and more contact and sending more information through, so it gets louder and louder. And then yours, sometimes dust gets in there, so that scratchiness is the dust getting underneath the brush, and you hear it go static. It's always static. So they make up. So even at home, go to a hardware store or Lowe's or whatever, and just get electronics contact cleaner. And then when you'll see where the 3 lugs that come off the pot, that the solder to, right underneath there, just take that and go, and then, and it cleans them up like nothing ever happened.
It's on and off. I mean,
It's easy peasy.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's just a good way to take care of your.
My wife went to.
It's just good maintenance to do at home. Like when you change strings and you're cleaning things up a little bit, maybe you clean your fretboard and all that. If you hear any of that little scratchiness in your pots, get in there, clean them up.
It was funny because like also.
Plus,
That makes sense.
and
This part's really noisy, so I'll just explain what he says. Just see where the lugs come off of the pot, and that where you solder right underneath there, you take that and you clean it. Cleans it up like nothing ever happened, on and off. And you can take care of it, quick maintenance, like when you change the strings and do your fretboard. You can do that as well.
and if you get, it's just, so they're analog, so there's a lot of static electricity that's happening inside of them. So even though it seems like it's sealed off, dust can still, little particles, and they get attracted to them like an old TV set or something where.
Yeah. So that's the dust analog, just like vinyl, so.
The dust just vinyl. Yeah, this is like static, just like an old, you're too young, but an old TV set analog, just go up against it, and all your hair would want to run to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had one for, I know.
So the pot's doing the same thing. It's building out static electricity, and anything you can grab, it's drawing inside. That stuff sits on the disc, and then the brush, and that make contact, and that's the little crackling that you hear.
For years, probably. Building
That's right. And your pots.
Gibson CTS and Emerson, those are the pots, and they're real great because you can repair them. It's well designed, original equipment. He also explained to me too that some people sell, he's seen people sell a single pot with the right year, 1959 pot, they'll sell for $5,000. Just because it's original, and the original has that proper design. And having the correct pots and original stuff is important to collectors and people who want that official seal of that 1950s or whatever guitar, especially the Gibson collectors. I wanted to explain to him too that this guitar is just something that I want to have fun. I want to add the value to it. I'm not a collector. I'm trying to put value into it and have fun with it, with cool upgrades.
That's great. It's fun. It really is. This is a good thing because I'm not scared to touch like a $10,000 guitar. This guitar is like, let's play with it. Let's see what we get out of it.
Right, and what you'll find is it's funny. People argue about what is it, the pickups or is it the wood? Is it the tone woods? And in reality, it's everything.
Yeah, the whole
Every dang thing. Another thing you may want to consider, you can look some stuff up online. But you might want to consider going to a graphite nut as opposed to the coriander
nut. Makes a big difference.
A huge difference, right?
Yeah.
Especially with open strings and that kind of thing. Graphite nut is also self-lubricating for life, so no binding at all. But they make direct replacements for Gibsons. Tusk makes them. That's a great company. And the graphite, I put graphite on everything I use because I saw a TED Talk. This is years ago with Paul Reed Smith.
The guy.
And he had a dude, he had his people build him a plate, and it's microphone. Everything's going to so everybody's sitting in the theater where he's doing this TED Talk, and he takes plastic, coriander, bone, graphite, like many different nuts, drops them on the plate so everybody can hear the resonance, and graphite blew everything out of the door. That's why all his guitars come with graphite.
Well, that's good to know. I think Graphite, he sold me on that. The nut apparently does make a huge difference in tone. I was a little scared to jump into it because you do have to have a professional do the mod, but I'm having a professional do the pickups and the bridge and all this stuff too, so. And it could be gold. This is such a great story too that he tells, and I think this kind of proves my point. Yeah, there are collectors of guitars, but there's also people, if you don't care about it, you don't care about it. He doesn't want other people to hear, but the reality the prices are BS because it is just kind of a collector's thing.
Same age group. When I was a kid, my grandfather gave me a booklet. And I was a baseball card collector when I was a child. I was probably 12 or 13 at the time.
I did too.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And so of course, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
So when I get the book, every one of my cards is mint, mind you. That's what's in my head.
Yeah.
So I figure out that, what all these cards are worth if I got the exact value the book says. Now, I'm not thinking, I'm too young to put all this together. So I go up to my dad into his office and I have this binder. I go, Dad, you know what these cards are worth? He didn't even look up at his glasses. They're like this. He didn't even look up at me. And he pushed it back and he said, they're not worth anything to me, son. I don't collect baseball cards. And I went, what? Lesson learned.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Right. They're only as valuable as a person who puts value in what
right.
it ain't money, bro.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you grow up, you notice, you have that binder, even if you still collect and everything. But if you take that whole binder to a sports card place, they're going to give you a fraction of what it's worth because they have to sell all that, advertise all that. Like, business is different.
Yeah.
But these guitars and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if it has promise, if I know that Jimmy Page played it on this recording, now we're talking about a different thing altogether.
Price.
But Bob Jones, the guy down the street, he just passed away, and his son is trying to sell his guitar. That guitar, to me, isn't worth $300,000 just because it was built in 1959. That's all.
Right.
It's so true. Obviously, if you've watched this guitar series up to this point, I want to play it. I want to add value to it myself. It's such a cool piece, and I really feel the history of it, but there's a part of me that goes, when you're at that level of collector's value and those crazy well-built guitars that people still try to both make today and they seek after to own for all those reasons, as cool as they are, let's make this ours. The other thing that was so interesting was he went on to tell me about how he owns 40 guitars, and there's this 2019 guitar that had a 60s neck on it that he just couldn't stop playing for whatever reason. And he said, go through 20 guitars, but then there's the one, and this was the one. And I was researching and learning about the history of guitars. It was good to have this verification. He's saying, yeah, there's different eras. Gibson's old era and this new era, and in this muddy waters in between. So this is interesting stories right here explaining the history of Gibson.
That's the newer Gibson era.
That's where it starts. Right.
Leadership or whatever.
Yes. And so everything is markedly better, and it's obvious. When Henry Yerkowitz took over in the mid-1980s because of what Norland was ruining Gibson.
I've been looking at the history.
And then he did a great job, Yerkowitz did, for a very long time. It's called the Goodwood era.
Yes,
the
90s.
Yes, I have one
In
from
early
the 90s.
2000s.
They're amazing. And then, of course, in the 2000s, Henry went a little crazy, and then with the robo-tuners and lack of quality control and everything, that's why they forced him out. Then the first guy they brought in was the dude from the CEO of Levi Jeans. It's like, what does that have to do with Gibson guitars?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bringing in Versace.
And then I guess they brought in, it was JC somebody or other. Now the new guy that they brought in immediately, because he was actually a Gibson owner, fanboy, and even though he was a CEO somewhere, he could play too. Yeah. And then he came in 2018, and their first production was 2019. He was like, we're fixing these hublocks. Wow. And so I got one of those from that year.
Huh. That's cool.
All right, guys, I got to get back to it.
Yeah.
That was so nice of him to talk through that stuff, man. And that's why I wanted to share it with you. Real knowledge from these guys, because we are learning so much on this journey of upgrading this guitar and making it awesome. Of course, we love our old guitars, but it's time to make something new and have some fun with this new Gibson, because we heard the tonal difference. Go back and check that out if you want. In the next video, you'll see me with that new bridge. Well, it's been 2 weeks. Actually, coming up on week 3, it's been in the shop. We are letting him cook. We know that he was not
exactly pleased with the results of the headstock repair finish situation. He may want to spend some time on that. If he doesn't, it's no big deal, because we really just care about the bridge. But I got a little worried. So I'm like, 3 weeks? It's a long time to not talk about guitars, but it made me beg the question, should I have done the bridge and the pickups together so that we could just get this guitar up and running? Because it's been a long journey. Since the first week of January to April to be able to play this guitar. That's why I'm documenting it now. Just from the hip on a breezy, stormy night. Palm trees, whole waving. But we got to hear how it sounds separately, right? That's the whole point. We're going to do the comparison side by side. I'm going to see that feeling difference. We're still going to wait that extra week or so to do the pickup. It may take longer than that. We're not losing sleep over it. I don't think there's too many bags under my eyes. And because life's about the journey. So we trust the process, we trust the journey. These are things that we tell ourselves. Trust the process. But what we're gonna do now, one thing with Gibsons is every advice I've ever gotten is you wanna do it right. It's fun to tinker. That could be a project for down the road. But if you're really trying to hear what it should sound like and you're A/Bing it, we're gonna have the pro do it right, and we're gonna trust the process, because it's a lovely night. Street lights and people. Whoa, whoa. And we're just living life, enjoying the journey. So we're on track. We got a long way to go. We're having fun with it. No word back yet.
Appreciate you stopping by. Keep on grooving your way.
Yeah, keep on grooving your way. I'll keep on grooving your way too. How's that? We'll do it together. We'll just groove whichever way. The wind blows, nice. Hope you're indoors.